I look in my backyard and I see the California jay. On the East Coast, they're known as bluebirds. Out here, they make a certain sound. They're very large bluebird-like birds, and they have a certain chirp to them that's very distinct, you know? And every time I see that bird or hear it, I look up because I remember when my kids were young, they loved that bird. So I see the jay in the backyard, and I see him pecking around looking for grubs. And I don't know what he was looking for in there. And he dug something up. It wasn't a worm. I looked carefully. I don't know what it was, but to him it was like a lobster thermidor. Or she jumped up on the fence and she was knocking down that lobster thermidor from the ground, happy. And I saw her looking around, watching vigilantly. And I thought to myself, contrary to the popular belief, it's not the early bird that gets the worm. It is the wise bird that gets the worm and doesn't get caught by the cat. And that reminds me of Obama. He is the training wheel president. He is actually the first training wheel president we have ever had. He is the man who can not only catch the worm, he can't catch the worm. He can't catch a break, primarily because the imposter has been exposed to most Americans. Everybody knows that the guy is faking it. Everybody except his czars. We've never seen as many czars since, the czars of Russia fell. And here we have czars. The country has confirmed over and over again that the public knows that he's false. They know that he's not a mainstream centrist. They know he's a radical left-winger, probably a Marxist of some variety. And whatever he does, they're on to him. And so, as I say, it's not the early bird that catches the worm, it's the wise bird, and this bird is not wise. And it reminds me of another story, if I might tell you. You want me to tell you another one? Because it's another true story from Life 101. Real Life 101. I also know it's spring because I have allergies already. Right away already. See, this is the curse of life. You get a good, and you get a slap with bad. Whatever you get is good, bad. You go skiing, you break an ankle. You have sex, you get an STD. You like the spring, you get an allergy. That's the way God set it up, so you're not too happy for any length of time. Of course, that keeps the AMA happy, too, because you can go one of the pill pushers for a med. It's amazing to me what nature is, how birds will find food. You don't have it? It's okay. You don't have to find it. How birds will find food. I can't even imagine what they're eating, these things. And to think they're descended from dinosaurs, I always amaze at that. Evolutionary theory is very interesting. You can look at them. Look, if I watch, not cormorants, what's the big bird in the San Francisco Bay? I was out on the boat again yesterday. The pelican. You watch the pelican fly, you easily see the pterodactyl. I mean, you don't have to be an ornithologist to see that one. But they shrunk down over the millions of years and the eons. They figured, all right, look, we can't make it anymore. The pterodactyl will get smaller. See, they knew what to do. Obama doesn't understand that, which is if this big, gigantic dinosaur of a government doesn't work, you shrink it in order to survive. The first thing I learned in high school from biology was biology teaches one lesson. And I remember this in high school. Remember I told you I was a dreamy student? I didn't do very well on tests. But certain things stuck in my head. One of them was adapt or die. I'll never forget that. High school biology. You're sitting there, your mind is on a million things, the after-school job, the girl in the tight dungarees, the hair. Who could focus on an old teacher with halitosis in the front with chalk, and you want to get out of there in May? The blackboards and the erasers, you just can't wait to get. You're going to go nuts, the claustrophobia. But that stuck. You learn from animals certain things, the teacher said, and he said, one of them that we learned from nature is that the lesson is adapt or die. Now, we all know this in business. Either you adapt to changing market conditions or you go out of business. Everybody knows that except the Obama administration. They have a dinosaur of a governmental model. It's built on the former Soviet Union, which collapsed, by the way, under Ronald Reagan's pressure. Even the Soviet Union is privatized. This guy's going the way of the Soviet Union. He's taking private industry and nationalizing them. He's going by the way of Hugo Chavez. Soon, if you want to buy a loaf of bread, it could be $1,000 for if this guy keeps it up. But he doesn't adapt or die. What does that mean? It means the government is out of control. It's the size of a dinosaur. If it wants to survive, it has to become a smaller bird. What does that mean? Fire your cronies. Cut all governmental agencies by 20% overnight. Cut off the what do you call them? I love this. Entitlements. Listen to these words. Entitlements. Oh, I'm entitled for medical care. What do you mean you're entitled? I'm paying for it. You're entitled to nothing. Where in the Constitution does it say you're entitled to free medical care? I'll be right back.